What's the difference between feeling like a bunch of men are hitting on my wife, I'm jealous, versus a bunch of men are hitting on my wife, ha ha ha, that makes me feel awesome, I got the one that everybody else wants. All right, here's how to stop being jealous, and more importantly, here's how to stop your woman from doing the things that make you jealous. So I got an email from a guy about his wife who would get dressed up really sexy when she went out with her friends or when she went out to work or her coworkers. He had this fear that she wouldn't know how to handle herself if men got aggressive in pursuing her. So first of all, he felt jealous because she's putting on a bunch of sexy stuff. This is not uncommon, right? And she's going out with her friends. So like the two of them go out to a movie and she dresses in jeans and a sweatshirt. And then she goes out with a couple of her friends or coworkers, and then she dresses really nice and looks really beautiful. And then he gets jealous that she's putting it on for them, but not for him. So, and then second, he was afraid that she'd get all this male attention because she's dressed sexy. All these men would aggressively be trying to pursue her, and then she wouldn't know how to handle herself. And I'm not sure exactly what that means other than maybe she would say yes to one of them. But this idea that, some men would be hitting on her and this would be problematic. His literal words were that she would know how to handle herself. So what I tried to explain to him, and if this is showing up for you at all, what I want to explain to you, because it's super important to getting this right. Some men just simply didn't get the memo back in high school that this is something that we're supposed to learn when we're growing up, when we first start dating, when we're younger. There's a piece of this that some men get, and they get it in their heads, and some men don't, around like what's going on there when she's dressing up sexy and you're not in the room, and men might get sexually aggressive with her. So if this feels like a little weird for you, then you're in the right place. Here's what he should have learned at some point. There is a choice here. When other men want your woman, there is a choice to how you feel about it. One possibility is that when other men want your woman, that you're jealous about that, which is weird because she's not doing anything at this stage, right? We're still talking about the stage where it's just a bunch of other men are staring at your woman and having fantasies about her, right? Or maybe even walking up to her and going, hey, baby, why don't you dump this guy and come with me? So like he's being a dick, perhaps, if he's done that and she's with you. Or if she's not with you, well, he's just taking a shot at it, right? He's just taking a shot, just normal, like what you did, except you got her, right? So one possibility is this makes you feel very jealous and insecure. And the other possibility is that it makes you feel like a big swinging dick, right? It makes you feel awesome because you have got her. She chose you. She chose you. So there is a point somewhere where you could get this, idea that if your woman goes out, she's dressed sexy and a bunch of guys hit on her, that reflects well on you. That makes you look awesome. You've got the girl that all the other men want. And by the way, it makes her potentially feel awesome about you too. She's like, yeah, no, I've got a man back home who totally satisfies me, and your pathetic attempts are not meaningful to me, right? This is not a matter of not knowing how to handle herself. This is just a matter of like how she really feels about you. So what's the difference between these two things? What's the difference between feeling like a bunch of men are hitting on my wife, I'm jealous, versus a bunch of men are hitting on my wife, ha ha ha, that makes me feel awesome, I got the one that everybody else wants? Well, the difference here is his insecurities and his shame. So let's look at the insecurities first, okay? The insecurities are that she's gonna like him better. She's gonna like his dick better than she likes your dick, right? That's the insecurity. There's this fear that, when she's with you, she's having an okay time. But then when this other guy walks over, he's so much cooler than you are that she's like, screw that. I'm going with this guy. I'm trading up, right? That's the insecurity. If you feel that is a possibility, that might happen, that is you being insecure. By the way, your insecurity could be well-founded, right? I'm not saying that that's not the case. Maybe that is the case. Maybe she really would rather be with somebody else. That would be a well-founded insecurity. But either way, whether she thinks you're the best man on earth or she's dying to replace you, either way, if that's your fear, that's an insecurity. Okay. The second thing, which is extremely common, is your shame. And specifically, it's your shame around your own sexual desire. And it makes you believe that it's bad and wrong for other men to desire her because you think sexual desire is wrong, right? So this is what happens. Like, it turns out that men have sexual desire. Men have that. Also women have sexual desire. But often, even though we know that men have sexual desire, we know the women have, we get it, that's biology. Even though we know that to be true, and we know that everybody's got it, somehow, because of the way we grew up, common as water, a lot of humans out there, both men and women, have a lot of shame around their own sexual desires. Like, everybody else does it, but when you feel horny, when you see a woman go by and you feel horny, you feel like, oh, I shouldn't do that. That's bad, right? That's called shame. And then because you feel that way about yourself, it really pisses you off when other people do it. Like, you feel badly about yourself when you feel sexual desire. So if some other guy feels sexual desire, he's being bad. He's being wrong, and he's being bad and wrong towards your woman, your wife, your girlfriend. He's being bad and wrong towards her. He's doing this shameful, gross thing, right? That's how it occurs to men who have shame around their own sexual desires. We project it onto other people. So there's a real opportunity here, brother, a real opportunity to make your life into a much, much better place if you follow along with me on this. Here's what you got to get. Sometimes you feel sexual desire for other women, not your girlfriend, not your wife. Sometimes you feel sexual desire for other women, and it's totally okay. Not only is it totally okay, you can't stop it, okay? It's wired into the biology. But that doesn't mean you're going to cheat on her. That doesn't mean you don't love her. It's like you feeling sexual desire for another woman does not mean that you are going to cheat on your woman or that you're going to do anything bad at all. Like, you love her, she's your woman, you're going to take all that desire and you're going to show her a good time later tonight, right? And we all know this happens. Sometimes you see a beautiful girl while you're out doing your day, and then it gets you kind of horny, and then when you go home, your wife gets the benefit of that because you ravage her with all of that pent-up sexual desire. It's not bad and wrong for you to feel that desire, okay? It is just biology. You can't not do it. You can't stop yourself. I mean, you can chemically castrate yourself, right? You can take hormone therapy in order to reduce your testosterone or something, right? We know that's a possibility, but you're not going to do that, are you? So it's not bad and wrong when other men feel that towards your woman. They're not doing anything wrong. And here's the hard part, put on your seatbelt, okay? Seatbelt well fastened? All right. It's not bad and wrong if she desires other men. Okay, which of course she does. She does. She sees other men and she goes, ooh, he's hot. She thinks that sometimes. But that doesn't mean that she's going to cheat or act on that any more than it means that you're going to cheat or act on that. And you may think the only difference is opportunity, right? Because you're not going to go hit on those other girls because you're being a good guy. But these guys will hit on her, so she's going to have to actively say no. But that's the way it is for a woman, and it's always been that way. You just got to get that of course she feels sexual desire for other men, and she doesn't act upon it. She doesn't act upon it. If she does, that's called cheating, and some people cheat. All right, but growing up means being cool with the fact that other people have sexual desire and you have sexual desire, and it's all okay. That is part of growing up. All right, now, some men just need to hear this once. There are some men out there that just like, I lowered a bell over their head and I went gong, and they're like, oh, I get it. It's not a big deal if other men have sexual desire for my woman. I just need to be cool with that, right? They just need to hear that once, and they get the insight, and they're like, thank God. And they become a whole lot less jealous. And it's awesome because their woman stops doing things to make them jealous because, well, first of all, a bunch of stuff doesn't make them jealous anymore, but also they now see him as confident and mature, and they like him better, and they are more attracted to their man and more loyal to him and more certain that they made a good choice. Some men only need to hear this once to get that insight. I know because I've counseled a lot of men on this very thing. A lot of men feel jealousy. A lot of men feel insecure. A lot of men feel sexual shame. And I can promise you that many men just need to hear this once, and they suddenly have the power to stop her from making him jealous again and start behaving with confidence and even feel good about the fact that she chose you. When other men hit on them, they're like, yeah, that's right. Everybody else wants my woman. And if you're one of those guys who just got this as an insight and you're like, oh my God, this is going to change my life, you're welcome. You're welcome, brother. Okay? Because I know, done a lot of one-on-ones. Sometimes that's all you need to do. And your relationship is so much more beautiful. It's crazy. She gets permission to be more sexual with you, more sexually open with you, when she gets that your sexual shame has gone down. It reads as confidence up, sexual shame down. She gets to be sexier with you than she was before. And that will happen immediately. So you're welcome. Your life is going to be so much better, and your relationship is going to be so much better if you get this. Okay, for those of you that don't get it, who think like, dude, that is so hosed up, you're just making me feel really weird right now. For those who do get it intellectually, you're like, okay, I know you're right, but I'm still really insecure and jealous. I know I shouldn't be jealous. I know I shouldn't have sexual shame, but I grew up in a weird religious family, and I think women are sluts if they dress sexy, and I can't stop thinking that, even though I know you're right. And there are some men who are like, no, you're wrong. I get it. You might just think I'm wrong. Okay. Either way, if you don't know how to go from this insight to the experience of not feeling jealous, to the experience of being totally confident that your woman loves you and only you, and she's not going to go running off with the first guy that hits on her, there are two things that you have to know that might really still change this for you and give you this incredible power. And it is power, I promise you. First of two things, I'm going to give you a little sales pitch here. But whether you buy or not, you just got to know that go to howtomantv.com, and there is a course up there called The Power Switch that will alter your sense of self-confidence in such a profound way. Looking backwards on this video, you'll be like, okay, now it all fucking makes sense. All right, so end of pitch. Don't let this pitch mess with your head, though. Please trust me that the stuff that I just told you really does work. You don't need to buy stuff. Stuff I just told you really does work, and I really do hope that you try it out in your relationship so you can see for yourself, okay? So please do that. All right, now, here's the second piece. There is a relationship between confidence and courage. Becoming confident enough to not be jealous and to reduce your sexual shame takes courage, all right? Because there's this thing that we're afraid of that we have to face. And as my friend Joe Polish said, and I quote him all the time on this because it's like one of the smartest things a human has ever said. My friend Joe said, everybody wants to be confident. Confidence feels amazing. Confidence feels so good, and everybody loves the guy that's confident. But to get confident, you gotta do courage. And courage sucks. Courage sucks. I mean, it's awesome, it's attractive, it's cool when other people do it, we all admire it. But when it's your turn to do courage, it kind of sucks because, it's painful. Like fear hurts. We don't want to do the thing that we're afraid of. But doing courage in your relationship and anywhere else in life, for that matter, doing courage over and over again is what builds confidence. And it's worth it, right? The confidence feels really good, particularly doing courage in the face of something that can't actually kill you, right? I'm not talking about, charging towards a hail of bullets here. I'm talking about being less sexually shameful. Like there's no real danger in facing this fear. And therefore, it's a fear outside of your comfort zone that you should face as often as possible so that you can gain this thing called confidence. And people talk about this idea of fake it till you make it. You've probably heard that. And honestly, I'm not a fan. I think in most situations, fake it till you make it ends up more like fake it till you become a faker. Like faking becomes this thing that you do until you're just a faker all over your life. I'm not a big fan. But courage is one of those places where fake it till you make it can work because, sometimes that's what it takes. Like when you fake it till you make it, I mean fake it as in face your fear, face your fear, face your fear. And when you do that enough, your fear goes away. And when your fear goes away, what you get in exchange is confidence. So that's my recommendation for you. If you get that what I'm saying is true, but it's still hard for you to figure out how you're gonna do it. That's my recommendation. Also, I have another video on the subject of insecurity in relationship that I think is very informative and will allow you to kind of see what this looks like and will help you to self-diagnose. So go check that video out. I will see you again on the next video. This is Alex Ullman.